And so let's first look at marketing spend optimization. When you think about the historical issues with marketing data, you're probably mostly dealing with these today. You can have the most forward-thinking agency, but if they're not really running data out of your call center, if they're not really looking at that, if they're not really looking at data from your EHR solution, they're mostly talking about arbitrary benchmarks, right? We've heard this all before, cost per lead, right? What does cost per lead really means? Well, what cost per lead really means is it's showing you how much you paid for that lead, but it's not really telling you anything about how much money you made. And too many marketing agencies are looking at arbitrary benchmarks. We're going to talk about what you should look at. None of this tries the true conversion. To us, a lead has a very specific definition. It is a patient, meaning first name and last name, with contact information, with a procedure of interest. And that gives you the opportunity to understand a true patient inquiry or lead. But what becomes most important is appointments and revenue. You need to tie that data together, and historically that's not done. You don't have tie-ins to individual team member. Marketing are tracking things, but they're not tied to the VoIP solutions to see how each team member is performing. And anytime somebody does try to do this, you have a very slow feedback loop. This is the example of typical marketing reports. You've all seen them before. And what you're looking at here are the typical metrics that they hold themselves accountable to. What I always found fascinating about this data, myself and our team, is that this doesn't tie to the actual performance of the business, right? You can have a report like this that looks excellent. Your marketing team feels they've done great. Your marketing department feels they're doing great. But you then jump into another meeting with your accountant and none of this matches. You're doing worse than last year, right in line. You're seeing less patients. You're generating less new revenue. So if these types of reports don't tie together, you have real issues. From a forecasting perspective, you want to turn this on its head by connecting it to understand attribution of ad campaigns and referral sources. You want to look at these campaigns and you want to see exactly how many leads did I get. Now you can define these leads, and you should. A phone call is not a lead, right? A phone call is a phone call. So what is it that we're going to attribute a lead to? Who's a booked appointment? Is there an attended appointment? And is there actual revenue? This starts to give you real information around whether or not that marketing spend is being optimized for the results that matter to the future state of the practice. You want to make sure you're distributing your spend to your highest performing campaigns. You can only do that when you're tracking each individual campaign through to revenue, ads, search, email marketing, or patient education, evaluating referring providers. And once you have that data, you can start to refine and refine your spend decisions through real-time analysis. So this is what this report would look like in real time for any group or organization that's tying it all together. In this scenario, what you're seeing is every individual campaign that's being run or participated in. You can tie that into the upstream data from Google Analytics, from Meta, from the types of campaigns that you're spending dollars on, and attribute that all the way through to leads, again, by your definition. You can start to ascertain what the lead rate is, and then tie that to the actual appointments that take place, and most importantly, the actual charges and payments with the return on investment. So when you see this data in this format, what it allows you to start to do is really dive in. And when you think about it, marketing and operations are really one department, right? I can market to generate a lead, but then that dumps into my contact center or call center, and now they have to do their job. And if they do their job, they can get that appointment booked. It comes in, and now the clinician has to do their job. And only when you see this in a linear fashion, from inception of that inquiry all the way through to profit, can you dive into it and understand where we have concerns or issues and where we need to fix those concerns or issues. That's a really important piece for larger organizations, because as you grow, you can only make decisions by data. The feelings and the emotions need to be removed from it.